Hi everyone. Today is Salesforce Consulting and Admin Training Day 33. So let's see what are we going to learn today. We'll quickly go through the previous session overview and we'll talk about the auto launch flow and we'll talk about the sub flow, how to call child flow from the parent lightning flow, and we'll talk about the approval process. What is the concept and how can we implement the approval process? Then we'll see the differences between the process builder versus flow builder versus workflow versus approval. And then we'll have a flow best practices. Then we'll talk about the flow orchestration introduction. And then we'll have a conclusion, trailhead links, and interview question, today's interview questions. So quickly, what did we learn yesterday's session?
Platform events, custom label,
Scheduled platform event, custom label. We have seen that. So let's go ahead and see the auto launch flow. The use case is in account, we have a opportunity. In account, we have a opportunity. So account is the parent. Within the account, we have a list of opportunities. Possible that one account can have a 10 opportunities or a 3 opportunities, or there is no limit. Account can have so many opportunities. So what I need is out of these 10 opportunities, whatever the top 3 opportunities. Now, how can I identify a top 3 opportunities? Is based on the amount. Based on the amount. So that means I need to highest amount. Highest amount. If there is any opportunity that has a highest amount, that will come on the, so here it will be order by amount in descending. So whatever the records I am getting, the opportunities order by amount descending. From top 3 opportunities, I wanted to get those 3 opportunities and then sum all of those amount. For example, I have a 10 opportunities. Out of 10 opportunity, so out of 10 opportunities, like one opportunity has $5,000. This is the highest. Assume the second opportunity is $4,000. Third one is $3,000. So like this, I have it till 10 opportunities are there. And the last one, that assume that $100. So like this, we have a 10 opportunities. So whatever the first 3 opportunities are there after descending order is done. So those 10 or 10 opportunities, whatever this amount is there, this amount I need to calculate it. That means sum of the 3 opportunities. Get top 3 opportunities based on the amount for a specific account and update the sum of opportunity in sum of account. Okay, so sum all of this, whatever we have, sum it. $12,000. And whatever we have summed this $12,000 has to be updated in account. In account, there is a field called assume that sum of opportunity. There is a field called sum of opportunity in the account. So update whatever the sum is there based on the first 3 opportunity amount, sum it and update it to the opportunity. So that is the requirement. First, let me check whether the account level do I have. At the account level, do I have the field to store the sum of opportunity? Okay, so let me create a new field. Edit object. So on the account level, I'm creating a new field. It's a number field because we are adding the amount. So let's take it as a number field. Or else currency also you can take it. Let's take the currency. Next, sum of top 3 opportunities. Now click on a next. And visible to everybody, click on next. Save. Now I have a field on the account which will show me the top 3 opportunities based on the amount. It is going to sum and it is going to show me the details in the sum of top 3 opportunities. So for that, I'm going to implement lightning flow. So let's go to the flows. Now let's click on a new flow. Now we know screen flow, we know record trigger flow, we know schedule trigger flow, we know platform event trigger flow. Now I'm going to create a auto launch flow. So let's click on a create. Now this is auto launch flow. So now if you observe this side, on the left side, we have a select element and some icons are there. So by clicking on this, you will be able to see the toolbox. By clicking on this, you will be able to see the toolbox. Basically, while creating here auto launch flow, we create a resources, right? In case before starting the flow, if you want to create a resources, assume that in my case, I need a account ID. So what I'll be doing is, so first thing I need to get the opportunities. Get opportunities, and these opportunities based on the account ID. I need to pass the account ID. So for this, instead of again doing the get accounts, I'll pass the single record to the opportunity. That means I'll just pass the account ID. For that particular account ID, calculate the opportunities. So that means I'll pass the input to the get opportunities, which is the account ID. So this I'll be manually passing the value like 001 and some numbers I'm giving it. So when I pass the account ID, it should pull all the get opportunities. From the opportunities, once I have the opportunities list, now the next step is I need to sort it. I need to sort it. Sort it how? Descending order, like based on amount, descending order. Right? So once the based on the amount descending order is done, then next thing is that I need to do the sum of it. I need to do the sum of it. So in order to do the sum, I need to go through the each opportunity. That means I need to loop through the whatever the top 3 opportunities are there. Here I am going to sort it, and our output of this will be only 3 opportunities. Output of this only 3 opportunities. So that means I'll be passing only 3 opportunities to the loop. I'll be passing only 3 opportunities to the loop. Now within the loop, I need to add basically sum. So I need to sum it here.
Ma'am, like what is that loop? Can you explain that? Why did you take that?
Get opportunities. For example, I have a 10 records. Okay. I have a 10 opportunities here. Out of 10 opportunities, do I need a top 10 opportunities? My requirement says that get only top 3 opportunities based on the amount. So for that, what I'm doing is, I'm doing a sort order by here. Okay, so when I do the order by, so it will arrange all 10 records in the descending order. Now, out of these 10 records, I'm not interested on the 10 records. I'm only interested in the 3 records. So output of this sort, I'll pass only the 3 records to the loop. Why do
Like
I
limit
get a
3.
loop here? Because first it will pass the first record and get me the amount. So I'll store that amount here. Next time again pass me the second record. Whatever the previous amount is there, take that as well as the add the next amount. Again pass the third opportunity. And what are the previous one is there, take that and add the latest one. So in order to sum this, I need to go to the each opportunity and get the amount of the opportunity. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So now from the loop, I'll be doing the sum here. Once I'm done with the sum, that means this will be, once it is the first record is completed, it will go to the loop and get the second record. Again, it will go and third record, again, it will go. Once it is completed, then I'll be doing here update. So the what are the final update is there? I'll be doing the final update of the update on account because I need to update the field called sum of top 3. Top 3 opportunity is the field. So I'll be updating the account with the sum of this value. Now this is what I'm going to do it. So for this, the first one, whatever I have this, for this, I'll be creating a resource. I'll be creating a resource. The resource is basically I need a resource whenever I'm running this. This resource is the input resource. Input resource. That means before you start a flow, pass the ID. Then only it will start getting the information. Then only I can get the opportunities for that particular ID. So resource I'm going to create right now. The resource is input resource. Input resource. Once I pass the input resource, then rest all my flow is going to execute as it is. So whatever is there. So whatever is there here, it is going to execute it. Now let's go ahead and do that. Now we have it, this flow. Now this flow starting, I'll create a new resource. So resource, let me take the variable here. Whenever we are passing the record ID, could be any record ID, account record ID, opportunity record ID, lead record ID, contact record ID, any 18-digit or a 15-digit ID, if you are passing to the flow as an input variable, then use the API name as small letters record, capital I and D. This is the standard. You cannot change this name. If you change this name, Salesforce Lightning Flow does not understand this is a record ID. So this is a standard one. You cannot keep any other name here. So whenever you are passing a record ID, has to be API name, has to be record ID. And the data type should be a text. Default value, we do not have any default value. Available for input, yes, available for input. Also pass the data to the output value. Whenever I say available for input is nothing but after this I have a like this, I have a close. So this is the first element and this is the second element and this is the third element, right? In order to execute the first element, I need an input to this. So that input is provided by the record ID. Once this is done, now I want the output to be also available there. So in case if you want the output and input, both of them, you can select it. No harm. If you do not want output also, you can uncheck that. That should be totally fine. So let's assume that right now I need just an input. So I'm giving the input, output should be passed to the element. Okay, so let's click on done. Now we have created a record ID. All the resources, whatever the resources that you are creating it, we have a different resources that are available here. Resource type, variable, constant, formula, text, write storage, and we have a few more like a pick list values, record choice set, so many are there, right? All of them you can see all the resources here. Not only the resources, elements also you can see. Now, as I got a record ID here, now what I'll do is I'll create a get opportunity record. I'll try to get the opportunities. In order to get the opportunities, I'm going to use the get record. Now here opportunity and the object is opportunity. Opportunity and then condition. What is the condition that we need here? What are the opportunities that I need to get it? Account has a 10 opportunities, but what all things I need to be verified here?
Account ID link. Account ID should be linked.
Amount, top 3 amount only we have to take.
Account ID equals to
Account ID
record.
equals to ID.
Record ID, and then I need to check amount field should not be null. There should be some value in that. So these are the two conditions. Now, do I wanted to get only one record or all the records?
All records.
All records. And then automatically store all the fields. Click on done.
I think we need to do sorting as well, right?
Yeah, will do. So as soon as it is added here, get records, you see here, it is divided as an element. So top is a resources and elements is a here. Resources, what are the resources we are creating it? All the resources, whether it is a variable, record collection variable, whatever we have, everything will be in the resource. Elements, what are the elements that we are using it? All the elements you can see it here. Now, next thing, I can do sorting directly into the get records. But what I'll do is instead of doing that, we have another element which is called as a collection sort, So what I'll do is let's give a label name, get top 3 opportunities. Now, collection variable is that I have a opportunities from opportunity sort by. It is giving me the option sort by. So collection sort is basically it is kind of a where condition. There is a different element for the where condition, which is collection sort. So collection sort, I'm passing my collection variable, which is a opportunity, sort by amount. Amount, I want a descending order. Now, do I wanted to keep all the items or some only few numbers like first 3 or first 4? In this scenario, we are going to get only first 3 records. Now here, set maximum number of items, 3. I'm just looking for top opportunities based on the amount, get me only 3 records. Get me only 3 records. Now click on done. Now this get opportunity is giving me all the records and passing the data to the collection sort. In the collection sort, I'm doing the descending order of the amount, and then also I'm telling the collection sort, once you are done with the descending order, we are also added the limit condition. We also added the limit condition. What is the limit condition? Limit 3. How many items to keep after sorting? After sorting, how many items do you want me to keep it? Keep all the items in this collection sort, or do you want to keep only few? That means limit 10 or a limit 3 or a limit 4. So the limit which we have given is only 3 records. Now click on done.
Ma'am, so like for sorting of anything, we will be using collection sort. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
If you have any sorting and you need any limits, like after sorting, like if you want only few records or all the records, whatever you wanted to pass, you can use the collection sort. Now, once I have done at this point, now whenever the cursor reaches here at this point, I have a 3 opportunities. I have a 3 opportunities. Now these 3 opportunities, I need to loop one by one and get the amount of the each opportunity. I need to get the amount of the each opportunity. Now for that, I'm going to add a loop. For that, I'm going to add a loop. Now, so this is a opportunities loop and collection variable. Now, here, either you can say opportunity, right? But these opportunities, what is the values that are stored? Only 3 items that are stored because we already sorted and storing those 3 records. Now loop has been implemented within this for each and after last. Now I need here for each. For each is basically I need to do the sum of it. I need to do the sum of first 3 opportunities. So what I'll do is let me create a new resource. That new resource is a variable. Now here I'll give a top opportunity sum. No. Data type, I'll say number. Decimal places, maximum 3 decimal places. There is no default value, only for available for input. Now, why do I need a resource here? Now I have created another one, top opportunity sum. Because here I'm going to add a new element is called assignment. I'm going to add new element is called assignment. Update count. Now here variable is top opportunity sum. Now it's not a equal to, it's a add because I'm adding it. So what I'm adding here, I have a loop opportunity and then amount. Click on done. What I'm doing here, assignment, I'm doing it. For each record, I'm doing the assignment. Now, once all the assignment is done, then I have to update it. That means similar to the yesterday, which I have discussed, list of a account. So once each individual account is added into the list, then I'll try to update the record. Now I have added everything into the variable called top of sum. Now here I'll be using the update account because we have to update the account. update record. Now update account. Use the ID and all the fields for a specified condition. Let's select the specified condition. And here I'll use the account. Now, what is the condition? Do I have any condition here? What should be the condition in the account? So I need to update the final count to the account level. So do I have any condition here?
Account ID.
I need to update only the one which I have passed the ID. I need to update the account, only the one that I have passed the ID. So I'll be using the report ID here. Then we have a sum of top 3. Value is top of sum. What are the top opportunity sum is there? At final count, I'll be storing it here. Now click on done. Now that's it. Auto launched. I'm passing the ID, get opportunities, sorting it as well as the limit. Those details I'm passing to the opportunity load. Then doing the assignment. While doing the assignment, here I'm doing the count increment, I'm doing it. Count increment, I'm doing it. Then finally, once I'm done, I'm updating the account outside of the loop. Now
Swapna?
Yeah.
Swapna, can you just show me the for loop once again? Can you just click on the edit, please?
Okay, so update opportunity. Amount on account. Click on save. Yeah.
So here the collection variable which you have taken, is it, this is from the get record, this opportunity?
Yes, we will see that what is happening
Ah,
here. We
okay.
will see that.
Okay.
So here we are doing the sorting, but am I saving anything into this? I'm not saving anything to here. Okay, let's see the result, then we will talk about it. So debug. Now top of sum is coming here. Top of sum, I do not need it. So click on available per input. I do not need, this is only for available per output. Click on save. And also record ID available per output. Click on done. Save. Debug. Now I have a record ID. Now let me go to the account. Let's see opportunities. Okay, so we have let's take all the opportunities. Okay, so we have this record. So total express logistic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so edge communication has 4 records. Edge communication has 4 records. So I'll take the edge communication record. Now let's go to the related. Now, if you look at the opportunities here, 35, 75, 50, 60. So top three will be 75, 60, 50. Right? So how much it will be? So $75,000 plus $60,
185,000.
185,000. Right, so let's go ahead and see. Let me debug the flow. Let me copy the edge communication. Copy. Let's pass that record ID. Click on run. So here get records. Account ID it has taken. So it has taken the 75, 60, 50. It did not take the third one. When I'm looping through it, what is happened? It is taking the 3AA, that is the first one, D9AJ, and then D8AJ, right? So it looped through only 3 times, and then finally it is updating the 1,85,000 amount. Now let's go back to the edge details. It updated the 1,85,000. Let me take the another opportunity. Okay, so we have a something United Oil Gas Corp. So this has around 7 records are there, which is more than 5. Okay, let me take this.
Ma'am, as you didn't check on rollback, so that's the reason like it got updated on account field, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Now for this account, let me see the related. Okay, so let's click on view all, sort by amount, descending order. So 915,675,440. So these two has to be summed. So how much of this can anybody calculate it? Now in the meantime, I'll take this account. Now let's debug again. I'm not clicking on this rollback mode. So I'm passing the ID, click on run. Now how many times it looped? It looped only 3 times. What is the output of this? It has taken only 915,675,440. And then finally each record data it is taking it, and it is taking the amount and doing the sum into this here. So initially it is 915 plus 675, which is 1,590. And then again it is looping it, and finally it is 2030. Right, so only 3 values, 3 records it has taken. Let me go back to the account. Let's check whether it is updated or not. It updated the record. Now, in case if you do not want edit option here, now what you can do is, while creating the field itself, when we created the field, that time we did not give this read only. So let me make it that read only. Edit object. Now click on a field. The one which we want is sum of top 3. So this sum of top 3, set field level security. And then here, just check this read only, click on save. So that nobody will be able to edit that particular record. Only lightning flow will be updated. Only lightning flow will be updated. Okay, so it takes some time. So that's about the first requirement use case. And the next one more use case we will see on the auto launched. One more we can see on the auto launched. Implement a lightning flow to send an email alert with the offer to successful candidate. So assume that we have a hiring manager object. We have a hiring manager object. Also, we have candidate. Let me create here candidate, and this is hiring manager. Hiring manager is another object. Now what we want is there is a offer object also there. Offer object. Offer object. And this offer object is connected to the job application. It is connected to the job application. Now assume that hiring manager, whoever is the hiring manager is there, that person did an interview to the candidate. He did an interview to the candidate. Now hiring manager is satisfied with the interview for this candidate. So what he did is he released an offer. He released an offer for this candidate. So when he released the offer to this person, as soon as it is hit to the offer, like that means offer record is created for this candidate. So send an email. That means through the offer, connect to the job application for this job application for this candidate. So what are the candidate email ID is there? We should be sending an email. As soon as the hiring manager creates an offer, also link the job application for which job application we are recruiting this person. So after linking this, what will happen? As soon as the hiring manager is created offer, so offer will drive through the candidate through the job application and release the offer letter to the candidate. Release the offer letter to the candidate. Now let's go ahead and create that. Now I'll be creating a flow here. Now click on a flow. New flow. When we click on new flow, we are going with the auto launched. We are going with the auto launch flow. Now for this auto launch flow, I need to pass a ID. I need to pass a ID here. So what I'll do is I'll create a ID, offer ID. So let's take a variable and let's create a var offer ID. Now here I'm not passing the record ID here. I'm not passing the record ID. So description is text. And available for input. Now click on done. Now, once this is done, what I'll do is I'll try to get the record of offer. Try to get the record of offer. I'm not going to create a hiring manager. My focus is only onto the offer object, job application object, candidate. The flow will be implemented on this offer, job application, and then candidate. So on these three, I'm going to build the auto launch flow.
First, you just created an offer variable, right? That's it.
Yes, it is a variable. Just a variable that I have created it.
Okay.
Now I'll be getting the records. Now let's keep here, get records. Now I'm going to get the offers. Offer, instead of get records, let's take it, get offer. Object is offer. And the condition says, I'm going to pass ID equals to variable offer ID. Now, do I need all the records or only the single record? Here, I'm going to go with only the first record. I'm not going to go with all the records because offer is one record. I'll not be offering the candidate multiple offers. We will not be sending. We will be sending only the one offer to the candidate. So that's the reason I'm selecting only the first record. Click on done. Now we have created the get offer where I'll be getting the single record of the offer. Single record of the offer. Now this single record offer, once I get the information, the next step is that I need to send an email to whom? The candidate. In order to send an email, I have an action here. Two ways which I can do the sending an email. One, by selecting here email alert, I can send the email alert. Right? The email alert, I can send it. But what I'll do is, instead of choosing the email alert, I'm going to build an email alert here. I'm going to build an email alert. That means I'm going to specify here what should be the subject, what should be the content in the body, and who is the recipient email address here. Who is the recipient email address here. So these information I'm going to enter manually. That means email template I'm creating on the Lightning Flow. Email template I'm creating in the Lightning Flow. Sometimes you have a scenarios that you are not supposed to create any email templates. They will say that we do not want any email template sitting there. Just create it on fly. Just create the email on fly. That means whenever the flow is executing it, that time create the email template. Do not keep the email template here. Do not keep the email template here. So in that scenario, what we will do is we will directly create an email template within the Lightning Flow. Within the Lightning Flow. Now, here I need a new resource which will store the body. That means I can give some content here. If I have to give a content here, I need to use some resource. I cannot text here, right? Enter value or search resource. Either you can enter the value here directly, right? What are the value that you wanted to add in the body, you can enter, or else the best way is to create a resource. The best way is to create a resource. Now click on a new resource. Now this time I'm going to create a text template. Text template, and I'll be giving the var email body. Now here inside this, I can enter some data here. So what is, we can enter congratulations, or we are releasing offer letter and the amount So there should be an amount field on the offer. So if you go to the object manager, search here offer. On the offer object, we have a field called amount. We have a field called annual salary. So I'll be using that. So which is like a salary. Directly it will not take. So what I need to use is, I need to use the merge fields. So get offer dot annual salary. Get offer dot annual salary. Whatever the annual salary is there for that particular offer, I'm pasting here. Now click on done. Now that's my content inside the body. Now similarly, I need a content inside the subject. For that also, I'm going to create a new resource. This is also text template. And here I'll give var email subject. Let's say this is just a subject. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's it. Let's give. Okay, so this is my subject. Click on done. Now I have given the subject as well as the body. Now let's go ahead and create a email here. So let's say send offer. Now this is my input and this is my subject. And whom should I need to send an email? I should be sending an email to the candidate. Now how can I get the candidate? In order to get the candidate, what we have here is, we do not have a lookup relationship onto the candidate. We have a lookup relationship onto the job application. Now, if I open the job application is connected to the candidate. Let me go to the schema builder. Here all. Now I need an offer and job application and candidate. Perfect. Auto layout. So this is the candidate and the job application. Then we have an offer. So this is the structure. From offer, I'll be connecting to the job application. From the job application, I'll be connecting to the candidate. Inside the candidate object, I have an email. Now that email I'm going to refer inside the flow. Here we have a recipient email address, comma separated. On top also email address is there, but that is a collection. But in my scenario, I have an email field, which is a data type called email. It's not a collection. It is just an email field. One email will be there. So I'll just specify this one. And I'm going to use the offer, job application, candidate, email. Right? So the email, whatever we have implemented here, send offer email, that email will be sent to the candidate. Now that's all. Let's click on a save. Let's search in that offer letter. Now what I'll do is once the offer letter is sent to the candidate, I'll be updating the status. I'll be updating the record. So let's update the offer record, because otherwise how will I know that whether the offer is sent to that candidate or not? So let me update record. So update offer. Now what I'll do is, now here I'll select the offer, get offer. Do I have any other information in the offer? Status is there. Status is there. So what I'll do is, okay, before the update, let me do the assignment. So assignment, offer status, I'll be updating the offer status in the offer object. Now variable is, I have a get offer and there is a field called status equals to option is sent. Option is sent. That means email has been sent to the candidate. Click on done. Click on done. Now click on the update record. Update record, update offer. Now use the ID here, directly specify the get offer, click on done.
Ma'am, what is that get offer? Like, where did we get that?
Get offer is on top. Current item from the source variable object is required as object data type. So get offer is from here. So I'm getting all the offer details here. The name of the element is get offer.
Okay. Like which one we have created, so we are passing that.
Yes, whatever I have pulled the data from the database and I'm storing the details into this element. I'm storing the details, only first record, all records, right? All the data I'm storing into the get offers.
Okay.
So with that only we will be using it. It's giving an error. This is fine. Where did I use the current item from source collection? I don't know how that came. So in the flow, sometimes what we see is, though you are creating the resources, but all of a sudden you see that those resources are not available. So that's the reason every time you keep on save the flow. So if you added a resource or if you added an element, anything you are doing into the lightning flow, always keep on saving it. Otherwise, sometimes you will see something weird things are happening in the lightning flow. Like I'm creating the resource, but it is not accepting that resource. And I cannot see that resource here. Somewhere it gone, but we don't know where it gone. So I clicked on the done button, we could not see here the resource. Or some resources which are unknowingly it is created something. So like that, we will keep on seeing that. So that's the reason it is always best that always save your lightning flow so that it will be whatever you have created, you will not lose anything yet. So that's it here. Now let me go and create a one offer. So this is the offer. Now let me clone this offer. Now status is not sent. JavaScript 1. Click on is save. Now this is the ID. Now what I'll do is I'll pass that ID debug where offer ID. Okay, before it was only the record ID, but now they have Salesforce has implemented to accept any variable. So starting of the class, I have mentioned that we have to always use the record ID. But seems like right now, Salesforce has improved that and they are accepting any variable there. So initially, I think last year, it was accepting only the record ID there. If you give any other, it was not working. Now, all the things are done. Now it is updated the status. Let me go back. It was not sent. And status is sent. Now who will be receiving the candidate will be receiving the email. Candidate will be receiving an email. What is the candidate email? Okay, it might be taking some time, but it sent an email and it has updated the record status to send. That's the auto launched. Any questions before I move on? Okay, so there is something in the flows. Once you have created the flow, let's say create a new HM record. It is active. Create a new HM record. So once you have created it, assume that you wanted to access this flow through the URL. Okay, so it has debug. So it has a hiring manager, all those details. Okay. Now what I need is this flow. I wanted to access through the URL. We know how to access through the quick action. So directly I can create a quick action on the position object or any object that I wanted to create. I can directly create the object and then I can access the quick action. I can do that. But right now, what I need is through the URL, I wanted to access the flow. When I say through the URL, click on this here, view details and versions. Now, do you see here URL? URL is there, right? URL is /flow/create new HM record. create new HM record. Now, how can I access through the URL? So the scenario is, let's assume that on the list view, I wanted to, on the list view, for example, I have an object manager. In the hiring manager, go to the hiring manager. Now here you have something called list view. Now in this list view, click on edit. Now, something called as a custom button as well as a quick action is there. Custom button and this custom button. That means I wanted to add the button on the hiring manager screen. On the hiring manager, we have a new button, right? So here on the list view, I have a new button here. Instead of this new button, I wanted to use my own new button. Now, how can I add that? So that you can add it through this. Either you can create a quick action or else you can create a button. Now, let me take you to the button. Now, there is already one button is here. We are directly passing that URL, right? So this create whatever this variable URL is there. Let me go back. Hiring manager. Click on view details and versions. Now copy this URL. Copy, go to the hiring manager. Let's click on a new button. Now let me create a new record. And select here list view. And these are the different options. I think I have already covered this. This is just kind of a display purpose. If you wanted to know more of this display purpose, what you can do is you can click on that link. It will open up. This display in a new window is nothing but it will open up the new window. Display in existing window means in the existing window it will open. Display in existing window without sidebar, that means you do not have any sidebars or anything. Or without sidebar or header, execute the JavaScript. These are the different options. I'm using the display in existing window without header and sidebar. So the URL, if you want a URL or a JavaScript, in our case, it is a URL. So what I'll do is I'll paste that URL. I just copied from the flow and I have pasted it here. I have just copied from the flow and I have pasted. Now click on it, save. Now, as soon as I created it, go to the list view. In the list view, go to edit. Now here you can see the new one, new record. Now place that new record here, click on save. Perfect. Now let's go to the hiring manager record. Let's refresh. Here it should be the new record should be displayed. Here it is, new record. So if I click on a new record, it will open up the lightning flow. It will open up the lightning flow. Now you can enter the details here. Button, hiring manager, location, Pune, hm1@gmail.com, designation, specialist, and the phone number. Click on next. Again, it will open the same thing. Because we have not written the any finish method there. So here is the record that is created. Here is the record that is created. Now assume that I do not want to go back to that page. In that case, we have a there is something called for lightning URL. There is a documentation which is written. So if you add like this flow rate URL, so what will happen is it will come back to the same page. It will come back to the same page. Wherever you went to into the like wherever you have clicked on the hiring manager record, which is taken to the lightning flow. Once the lightning flow is completed, you wanted to come back to the same hiring manager. In that case, what you can do is you can add the red URL. That means within this URL itself, you can add it. So what are the button is there? For that button, click on edit. Now here you can add that. So what are the slash or a question mark red URL is there? That's the same thing. Control finish behavior. Yes. Control finish behavior. There is a documentation on the control finish behavior. What you can do is they have given everything. Once you are done with the flow, where you can redirect it. So let me go to the help. Okay, so this is the page. Okay, something it will be, okay. Now, if you see here, the URL list view. Okay, so this is the list view. Object codes question mark, and then FCF list view ID. That means we copy this. Let's go to the hiring manager. Okay, so here in the button link, so what I'll do is I'll add question mark, and then we have a ret URL. Ret URL equal to, you have to pass the object ID here. This is the object ID. That is starting of the ID. Then we have a question mark, FCF equal to whatever the digit ID is there. So that we need to pass it. Now here, flow ID we have to pass it, and here we have to pass the object ID. So let me go to the flow. So create new HM record. That's the flow. And let me open the hiring manager also. So hiring manager has starting of this ID is this is the one. Starting of this is this one. So you need to pass that ID here. For example, I wanted to place it into the case. So case will have this ID here 500 because on the case, if you go to the case and open any case here, so it is starting with 500. Cases is always starts with 500. Similarly, hiring manager is starting with number called A05. So these are the 3 records, 3 digits. Just take that 3 digits and give here the 3 digits. And then pass the ID here. So what is the ID that needs to be passed here? Let's check. Okay, I'll cover that red URL part tomorrow. So let's move on. So basically, if you do not want to redirect to the lightning component or a lightning flow, if you do not want, there is some options which are given. You can search in the Google control finish behavior. How do you want to behave the finish of the lightning component? So they have given some links or some URLs which they have given. I'll cover that tomorrow. And the homework, implement a lightning flow to calculate the top 3 probability of opportunities and update the final output in the account field. And the second one, implement a flow to update the roll-up summary field on account. That means that roll-up summary is count of contact. So what are the count of contact is there? That roll-up summary needs to be updated on the account. That's all. And the next one is a subflow. Subflow is basically you are already into the flow. You are already into the flow. Assume that yesterday we have created a platform event flow. Now, whenever the platform event flow is hit, now I wanted to create a contact as well as I wanted to fire a yesterday's one posting the message into the group. Now posting the message into the group that we have already done yesterday, auto launch flow, right? So this is the platform event. So if you open this platform event, we are doing the action here. What is the action we are doing it? We are message. This is the message which we are sending, which we are posting to the chatter. Now this is already implemented. Now what I'll do is I'll implement another platform event. Click on a create. And in this platform event, choose a platform event, which is a notification event that we have created yesterday. As soon as the notification event or a platform is somebody is published, assume is Apex is published or a workbench is published, whenever it is published, now I wanted to create a new record, which is a contact record. I wanted to create a contact record. Only one record, and let's give it as a separate values here. The contact record here. contact. Now let's say we have a last name, mandatory. New contact. What else we have on the contact level? Let's go to the contact, click on a new. Click on a new, and here, this is the hiring manager. Click on a contact. And click on a new button. Last name. I think last name is the mandatory. So let's go ahead and create a new account. Now, once I have created an account, now next thing is that I wanted to call a subflow. I wanted to call a subflow. Here I have an action, but can I call the subflow here? Subflow option is not available on the platform event. Let me take another one.
Ma'am, once tell the question like what exactly we are implementing now.
We are calling the another flow. We are calling the child flow from the parent.
Okay.
Now, here on the screen flow, we have a subflow. In case if you wanted to call any flow from here, like you have a something different flow, okay? So in real time, what we do is we create a small flows, which are reusable flows, That means, for example, I have a logic to create a record. Okay, you pass the object, and you pass the field, object and field. Now, what are the object and fields you pass it? This, whatever the flow is there, this flow is automatically taken care of creating the flow. Or else, there is another scenario. Most of the time in real time, we have some input fields. Assume that there is in the application, wherever like a Yamaha web page, so vehicle forms. If you open any vehicle website, like a Yamaha website or anything that you open, whether you go for a new vehicle details or whether you wanted to buy a used cars or you wanted to buy a offer, whichever the form you go for it, that form has a first name and last name. These details are mandatory. First name, last name, email, these fields are mandatory. That means the flow is a different, whether you are buying a new car, possible that you are buying a new car. Whenever you buy a new car, you click on a buy. So that will open up a different form. Now, if you are clicking on the used cars, I wanted to buy the used car. So when you wanted to buy the used car, you click on the used button. When you click on the used button, there is a different forms that get open. Now, you wanted to buy the offer, which is right now available, 70% off or some 50% offer is available on the cars, new cars. Offer on new cars. When you click on this button, what will happen? the another form that gets open. Now these three are a different forms. When you click on a button, buy new car or a used car or offer new car, whatever the button you click on it, everybody is opening up the new form. It has everyone has a new pages, but all the forms has a common fields which are first name, last name, email. Whether you click on a buy new car and a used car or a offer on the new car, whichever the button you click on it, it has a common fields, first name, last name, email. After that, there is a change. If it is a buying a new car, they are going to ask you your SSN number or more details like a permanent address, right? Those all information they are going to ask you. If it is a used car, then they are going to show you the actual owner details. If it is an offer new car, they are going to give you the discount, how much discount, what is the price. Based on the selection of this, the below page is going to be displayed differently. But top, the first name, last name, email is same. Now in this case, what we will do is we will create some flow, which is a small flow. This is assume that this is a name details flow. This is a separate flow. Now, whenever I'm creating a new flow for the buy new car, okay, I'm creating a screen flow here. I'm creating the screen flow. In the screen flow, first screen should be displayed first name, last name, email. That means in this screen flow, what I'll do, I'll call the name details flow. This is a child lightning flow and this is parent lightning flow. You are calling the child lightning flow here in order to display the first name, last name, email. And once you click on a next button, what will happen? Immediately, whatever your flow is there, the continuation of your flow. Now here you are calling the subflow. Once you call the subflow, what are you doing it? You are continuing the whatever the continuation flow is there that you are doing it here. So for these kind of a scenarios in the real time, if we see that there is a more than one requirement has some common generic fields which are available in the forms or some actions which we need to perform it, right? Could be a auto launched or could be a trigger, anything that you wanted to create it. Those are generic. So basically those flows, we will create it as a separately and we reuse those flows wherever it is required. So how you are going to call it? So here, this is the screen flow, right? In this screen flow, before coming to the hiring manager screen, I wanted to call a subflow. So assume that right now I have a random flow here. So I wanted to create a discount flow. So call this discount flow, create a label here, discount. And this is the flow. What is the input is expected? This is, you can pass that input here. So it is expecting the account ID. So you can pass the account ID here. Let's take the hard coded value account. So some ID, it is expecting I am passing the hard coded for now. So like this, we will keep on implementing the subflow. If you look at the real time flow, subflows are so many will be there. Actual elements are very less. Like you will be calling the one subflow here, another subflow here, another subflow here. Like this, within the flow, you will be calling the multiple flows. That's a use case for the subflow in the real time. Any questions? Now the next one is the approval process. Long back approval process is very important step because approval process is an automated process in the Salesforce. Now it is implemented to approve records. That means it is similar like you are working in the company and you spend some amount on behalf of team. Now you need to submit that bill to the HR. Once you submitted the bill to the HR, now what will happen? Manager will approve the whatever the record that you have created. Manager has to approve. Then only the HR will go ahead and process with the reimbursement amount. In case if manager is rejected, you will not get the amount back from the company. So similar kind of with that, we have a approval process here. We can specify the steps, those are necessary for approval. That means specify the steps. What are the steps that we need it? That means what is the condition that I need to check before it process the approval? And it allows the steps to apply all the records or a just record that have a certain attribute. That means it will allow a step to apply whether it should be all record or just for a single record. Based on the certain attributes, we can perform the approval process. And in the approval process, we can also define who will be approving the each step. That means if you have a 2 managers in your level or you are reporting to the 2 managers, right? So in that case, you can decide who is the approval person here and how many members needs to be approved before it goes to the HR. And the approver can take steps that when a record is approved or rejected or a recalled. So let's see the use case. Now let's assume that opportunity object. We have a opportunity object. Inside the opportunity object, there is a field called discount. If the discount is requested for 20%, or less, it is automatically approved. That means in the opportunity, if your discount field is less than 20% or it is equal to 20%, then it should be automatically approved. If the discount is requested for more than 20%, then it has to go to your manager. Manager has to approve it. If it is a request is more than 40%, if the discount request is more than 40%, then it must also be approved by the VP because that discount is too high. So if it is a too high, 2 approvals are needed here. So similar like less than 20, greater than 20%, greater than 40%. If it is a less than 20%, then it has to be approved by, that means auto approved. If it is a greater than 20%, it should be approved by manager approval. If it is a greater than 40%, it should be approved by manager as well as the VP. Both of them has to be done. Clear on the use case? Now let's go ahead and implement that. Now we have an opportunity. So inside the opportunities, now let's open one of the record. I'm just checking whether I have a discount percentage. Okay, there is a discount percentage field is there. So if this discount percentage is less than 20% or equal to 20%, that means if it is a 10%, if I click on a save, it should be auto approved. If I say 35, that means it should be approved by the manager. Now, if I say 75%, it should be approved by the manager as well as the VP. Now, how do I know that who is my manager? Who is manager of this user? Now, whoever is the user is logged in here. How do I know that who is the manager of this user? Go into the settings. Now, go to the advanced user details. In the advanced user details, we have an option called manager. One of the field called manager. One of the field called manager. Now we have to update here whoever is the manager. Now let me go to the users list here. Now, if my manager has to be approved, for example, here, DEC batch is the user. DEC batch is the user. This is the user. Now, how do I know who is the manager of this DEC batch? Because in the DEC batch user level, we have a field called manager. Field called manager. Now you need to specify the manager name here. Now, how do I know the manager here? Before, if you do not know the manager here, what we have to do, we have to go to the role. We have to go to the role. Inside the role, check the hierarchy. Check the hierarchy. So the hierarchy will be, let's go to the roles. Set up the roles. Now this is the hierarchy. Expand all. CEO, CFO, COO, CTO, and VP. Now, as per my requirement, if it is a greater than 40%, then VP has to be approved. VP has to be approved. If it is a greater than 40%. Greater than 40%, VP has to be approved. If it is a greater than 20%, if it is a greater than 20%, then manager has to be approved. Now, if it is a less than 20, then automatically it should be approved, right? That means I have a two roles here who is going to play a very important role in the approval process. One is a manager role, another one is a VP role. One is manager role, another one is a VP role. Now, this manager role, I should be assigning to the somebody. This managing role, I should be assigning to the somebody. Now, who is that manager role? Let's go ahead and check the user. Right, so here we have a one person called as a Srinivas. Here, this is the manager. This user is manager. The role is assigned manager. Now, what I have done is, this manager user, whoever is the user is assigned role as a manager. I have taken that user and I have assigned manager as that particular Srinivas. So now this person role is a manager role. Now this person role is a manager role. And VP is different person. VP is Swapna. So I have taken one standard platform user who is a VP, another standard platform user who is a manager. Now these two users are going to play role into the approval process. VP is this user, Swapna is whenever the greater than 40%, this user has to be approved. Whenever this greater than 20%, this user has to be approved, right? So these two users are important because they have assigned as a VP as well as the manager role. Now let's go to the So that's the requirement. Now let's go ahead and create a approval process. Now in order to create a approval process, search here approval process. Approval process. So whenever you search here approval process, the first option here it shows as a manage approval process. Manage approval process. For which object do you want to manage the approval process? Do you want to manage the approval process for account, contact, opportunity? Which object do you want to manage the approval process? For now, I'm going to create it for the opportunity. Now, once we select the object here, there is an option here, create a new approval process. It has a 2 steps. Use jump start wizard, use standard setup wizard. Use jump start wizard, use standard stamp wizard. Now, we always go with the standard. So let's go with the standard. Now I have started creating the approval process. It is asking the process name. What should be your process name? Now let's say this discount approval process. Now click on it next. Now I'm at the starting stage creating the approval process. When I'm creating the approval process, the first thing, why should this approval process should be hit? When it should hit? When the discount percentage is greater than 0, then the approval process should be hit. So that means opportunity discount percentage is greater than 0. Then it should hit the approval process. Whenever it is 0, that means I do not want the approval process to be hit. If it is a greater than 0, then only the approval process start hitting or approval process should fire for that particular record. Now here, next automated approver determined by the. Who is the next approver? After you, once you create a record, right? Once it is fired the approval process, who is the next person that it should be determined by the? So it is by default, it is giving me the manager. That means manager of this user, whoever is the user is there, manager of that person. Use the approver field of a opportunity owner. In case if you want to use approver field of a opportunity owner, that means whoever is creating the opportunity. I don't want to, here what I'm saying is, I do not want to take the manager of this person. Which manager here, if I select here, whoever is the opportunity owner is there, opportunity owner manager, it should be next automated approver. If I do not select this, whoever is creating the opportunity, that means whoever is the logged in user is there, that user manager. But if I select here, whoever is created the opportunity, and for that opportunity, we have a owner field. Whoever is the owner of that field, that person manager is the next automated approver. Now, the next one is a record editability properties. Now, administrators only can edit the record during the approval process, or administrators or currently assigned approver can edit during the approval process. Right now, I'll go with the first one. Click on it next. Now, email template. This is at the starting stage, so it's not mandatory. So I'll leave for now. Click on next. Now, The approval page is where an approver will actually approve or reject the request using the options below. Choose the field that needs to be displayed. Now, whenever the approval email or approval message is sent to the manager or a VP, what are the details, what are the fields that they want to see? What is the mandatory fields that they should locate it, so that they can understand whether it is approved or a rejected. So assume that I wanted to check the amount and I wanted to check the discount price, right? And also I wanted to check the approval status. These are the fields I wanted to show to the approver whenever they are rejecting or approving it. These fields should be displayed. Now the next one is the approval page field. Display approval history information in addition to the fields selected above. Do you wanted to show the history of this? Whatever is happening on the approval process, do you wanted to show the history? Let's check this. Display the approval history information in addition to the field. Right? Whatever is happening here on these fields, what are the updates are happening on this field, everything can be tracked into the approval history. Now the second one is the security settings. It is saying that allow approvers to access the approval page only from within the Salesforce application, or else outside is nothing but external from the wireless enabled mobile devices or a different externally, or it should be within as well as the externally both. So first one is the recommended. Let's go with the first one. Now, sixth step is specify the initial submitter. Specify the initial submitter. Who is the submitter here? Definitely the opportunity owner is the submitter. And page layout, add the submit for approval button and approval history related list. That means if you uncheck this, approval history, approval button will not be created on the page layout. Now, if you check this, automatically the approval button as well as the approval history in the related list of the opportunity will be automatically added. Now, the second one is in case the submitter has by mistakenly submitted it. It's supposed to put a $500, but they have kept it as a $499. Okay, so that is by mistakenly it happened. They wanted to recall. In case if you want the recall should be happen, then you can say here allow submitter to recall the approval request. Now click on a save. Once we click on a save, it is going to ask me that what would you like to do now? Now everything initial step is done. Creating the approval process for the initial step is completed. Now what should be the next step? Yes, I would like to create an approval step now, or I will do this later. Take me to the approval details page to review what I have just created. Or I will do this later. Take me back to the listing of all the approval process for this object. Let's do the second one. Click on go. Right. So now we have selected this. Now here it says the discount approval process. And this is an opportunity. Opportunity criteria to hit the approval process is discount percentage should be greater than 0. Record editable only by administrator. Record editable by only the administrator. And initial submitter is opportunity owner. Now this is done. As soon as I create an approval process.
You didn't check on active.
Yeah, I'll do that. So as soon as we create an approval process here, we have a certain sections you can see here. The first one is who is the initial submission action? What is the initial submission action? And approval steps. What are the approval steps? And the next one is a final approval action. Once it is approved by the final person, what should we need to done? Final rejection. Once it is rejected, what should need to be done? Recall action in case if somebody is recalling it. Somebody is recalling it. What should needs to be happen? So these are the 5 sections which are there. Now here the important one is approval steps, final approval, final rejection. Right? Initial submission also you can add it. Initial submission is also you can add it. So initial submission is nothing but, now let's assume that now the approval process is hit. Approval process is hit. That means whoever is the person that is creating the opportunity. Now let's assume that I'm creating the opportunity. So whenever the user is creating the opportunity, let me close all the flow builders. Okay, so whenever I'm creating the opportunity, for example, I'm creating the new opportunity here. I'll create a new opportunity here, but I'll not enter anything approval status. Approval status is there, pending, approved, not approved. Okay, assume that this field is a read only. Nobody is updating the approval status. So as soon as I see the discount percentage is, which is greater than 0, could be a 10%, could be a 30%, right? Anything which is a greater than 0. As soon as it is a greater than 0, immediately my approval process is hitting it. On hitting the approval process, immediately I wanted to update the field. Immediately I wanted to update the field. That means account status should be approved. Approval status should be pending. Approval status should be pending. So approval status pending. Click on save. So let's say status pending. Click on save. No. Status is changing to the pending. This is my first step. As soon as the approval is hitting it, just update this field. Just update the approval status field to the pending. Now the next step is approval steps. We need to add what should be the approval steps. We have 2 criteria here. First criteria is done. Auto approved is done. Now we have 2 conditions here. One is greater than 20 and another one is greater than 40. Greater than 40. So now let me go ahead and create a approval steps. New approval steps. Now let me add the approval steps here. Let's say that this is a discount over 20%. Discount over 20%. Now I'm doing the step 1. Click on a next. Now, on the second step, it is asking me the criteria. The criteria right now for this one is discount percentage should be greater than 20. If it is a greater than 20, then only this should, whatever the new approval is there, it should happen. Now click on a next. That is the one criteria that I have. Now, do you want automatically assign the using the user field manager? Whoever is the manager for that user is there. Default, I wanted to assign it. Yes, I would go for a second one. Click on it, save. Now, once it is done, do you want to create any task? It is asking that, do you want to create any task? For now, I do not want to create any task. Click on a go. Now, what happened? The first one is created. opportunity discount percentage greater than 0. If discount percentage is greater than 0, then go for a approval. Else default approve it. If it is a greater than 20, go for a approval to the manager. Otherwise, just default approve it. Now I'm going to create the second one, second approval steps. Second approval steps, step number 2. So this time discount over 40%, discount over 40%, and the criteria should be discount percentage greater than 40. Click on next. Now, do you want to send the manager? If it is a 40, then I want a VP should be reflected, right? If it is a greater than 40, my VP should be approved. So who is the VP here? VP is Swapna. So she is the VP. So I'm selecting the VP should be approved it. Instead of manager, definitely it will go to the manager because it is already crossing the 20. Also, along with the manager, I need another approver here, who is the VP user. Now click on save. Click on done, boom. Cancel. Approval process. Discount approval process. The second one, let me edit this. Click on next. Criteria greater than 40. And user is this. And reject behavior is perform all the rejection action and the step and all final rejection. That's fine. Perform only the rejection action for this step and send the approval request back. No, I do not want to send back to the step 1. So let's go with the first option. Click on save. Now, okay. That is done. Now these are the approval who needs to be approved. One is a manager, another one is a VP user. Now on the final approval, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to update the field which is called status approved. Status approved. That means once it is approved by the manager, I'm going to change the approval status to the approved. Click on save. Now I'm updating the status to approved. In case if you want to send an email alert also, you can do the email alert. So let's check here. This is a discount approved by approved email or a discount approved email. Discount approved email. Now you can choose the email template. In our case, we have some email template. Discount approved. Now I'm choosing the discount approved email template. Now who is the person? Who is the reception? So you can select opportunity owner, or if you want any specific members, or if you want a email field, if there is any email field there. Or if you want to choose a user, you can choose the user. So right now what I'll do is opportunity owner. I'm sending the opportunity owner and click on it, save. That means on the approval, I'm updating the field as well as I am sending an email. Similarly, what I wanted to do is, whenever it is a rejected, I wanted to update the field, which is a rejected discount rejected field Now, approval status. Rejected is not there, so I'm changing it to not approved. Clicking on save. So that means whenever it is rejected, it is changing it to the not approved. Also, if you want to send an email, you can send an email. So let's say that here, discount rejected email. Now the email template, you can choose the email template, discount rejected. Let's send it to the owner, opportunity owner, and click on save. Right, so this is I'm doing in the reject. Also, what I'll do is on the reject, I'll also clear the discount percentage. Once it is rejected, don't put the same value there. That means clear the value in the discount percentage. Discount clear. So what is the field? I wanted to clear the discount percentage to the blank value. Click on the save. Now we have done with the steps, what needs to be happen in the approval, what needs to be happen in the rejection, and what are the approval steps that I need to cross verify, right? On the initial submission, what should be happen, everything we have done. Now, why did not I activate it here? The reason is as soon as I activated, the button is go away from here. I cannot create a approval steps. I cannot create approval steps. As soon as I activate it, this button will go away. I cannot modify anything onto the approval step because right now it is showing me the show actions, edit, delete, and this button is there. As soon as I click on activate, the delete will go away and this button also will go away. Now let me activate it, click on OK. Now you see here the button is gone. Now I cannot edit, modify, delete, nothing is going to happen. Now if I click on a edit, click on a next, right, click on a next, manager, click on a save. I'm not going to modify anything there, but delete option is not available here and this one is not available. Now the step number is going to play a role while executing the approval process. That means which one should be executed first and which one should be executed the next one. So this step number will be executed the way we have declared it, the same way it will be executed. The same way it will be executed.
Swapna?
Yeah.
Yeah, in case of step 1, if the discount is over 20%, you are saying assign it to the manager, right?
Yeah.
Or else approve. So
Mm.
how it can be else approve? Now, if it is else, then it should go to step 2, right? Because the discount is greater than 40.
Here else
Isn't it?
is nothing but less than 20. If it is a greater than 20, go to the manager.
Okay.
Else is nothing but less than 20.
Ma'am, for about like what about this step 2? Like if it is greater than 40, it will be going to VP. Then
Yeah. It will go to the VP. That's it. There is no else condition for this. Only else condition will be there for the first. Because you are saying here greater than 20. After that, we have a 40,
okay,
60, 70.
it already passed the step 1.
Yes.
Is there anything like that? Like for example, initially, like when we started this approval process, like if it is directly, it is more than 40%. Like instead of going to step 1 directly, can we go to the step 2 like that? Is there any possibility like that?
No, we do not have. Controlling the steps is not there. It has to follow. Now, let's suppose I'm going to create a record in the new opportunity. Now let's click on a new. I'm creating the opportunity. Approval opportunity. Now close date is, let's create a 27, stage is initial. I'm not updating the approval status. I'm not, okay, I need to give the discount. If I give a 10% discount, if I give a 10% discount, what should will happen? Click on save. Now click on the details option. Now 10% is there. Now this is the record is created. Okay. Approval process automatically, it will not hit the, as soon as the record is saved, approval process will not hit, because nowhere I have not mentioned on the creation of the record, on the update of the record, I have not mentioned anywhere. I have not mentioned anywhere. So on the creation of the record, approval process will not fire. So there is an option which will be added here, submit for approval. User has to perform an option here by clicking on this submit for approval. Once the user click on a submit for approval, it is going to ask you the comments like a please approve. Please approve. Now on clicking on this submit button, now the approval process is getting hit. Now the approval process is getting hit. Now if you see here, approval history is added. Approval history is added. One is request is submitted, right? One is requested submitted, and the second one is approved. Is there anything pending here? Nothing is pending. Automatically it is approved. Now if I go back to the opportunity, go to the details page. Now the approval status is saying that approved. Approval status is saying approved. Automatically it is updated. Now let me create one more. New approval opportunity 2. Now this time close date is 27, stage equal to prospecting. And this time I'm going to give you the 25%. 25%. Now click on is save. As soon as the record is saved, if you go to the related list, there won't be any history here. You will not see any history. Approval history will not be there. Now, here discount percentage is 25%, approval status is nothing is there. Now I'll click on it, submit approval. Submit approval, I'll say here, please approve. Please approve. Click on it, submit. As soon as I clicked on it, submit, click on it, view all. Now, if you see here, the first one is, whatever the first one is there, it is, by adding the comments, I have submitted it. By adding the comments, I have submitted it. Now it is pending. It is pending from the manager because it is assigned to the user. It is assigned to the user. Who is the user here? Manager is the user. Manager, user. And at the same time, it will send an email to that particular person. It will send an email to that particular person. Dear batch has requested your approval from the following, right? So they are saying that to approve or reject, click on this link or a reply to this email, one of these words. If you reply to this one, approved, reject, rejected, no, approve, whatever you can do it, you can do it. Now, once it is done, so here it is waiting for the manager to approve. In case if the manager is approved, let's assume that I'm logging in with the user, Radha Srinivas. Now I'll click on this. Ultimately, it will take to this. So if I click on this link here, it will take me back to the approval process. Now it will take me back to the approval process. Here I can see the fields. What are the fields I can see? I can see the approval opportunity, December, amount, discount percentage, approval status. These are the fields which we have selected while creating the approval process. So only these fields I can see it. Now, this is the comment that submitter had. Submitter added it while clicking on the submit. Whenever on clicking on the submit for approval, this submitter has added, please approve. Now you have an option to either, manager has an option to either approve it or a reject it or a reassign. Let's suppose if I approve it. Now let's suppose if I approve it, I'll say that approved. Click on approve. As soon as it is approved, let's go back to the opportunity. Now here you can see the approval process. It says that submitted, approved by this person. Whoever is the person is there, that is the person name it is going to show. Now in the detail section, it is going to say 25%, it is approved. It is approved. Now let's suppose I'll create another opportunity. Click on a new. Now this time approval. Opportunity 3. Close date. Let's give some amount here. And the stage is prospecting. Discount is 30%. Click on save. Now let's go to the detail section. Approval status is null. Discount percentage is 30%. Now there is nothing in the approval history. Click on it. Submit for approval. Let's say that please approve. Click on a submit. Now this time manager is going to reject it. Assuming that it is pending from the manager. So let's click on here. Now assuming that amount is very less, 4,566, which is a very less. On top of it, 30% is too much. So they have rejected. The manager has rejected. It is showing here pending. Now the manager is rejecting it. Let's say rejected. Now click on reject. Once it is rejected, now it is updated there. Once it is rejected, it says that approval status is not approved and the discount percentage is null, because we are making it null whenever we reject it. And approval status is we are changing to the not approved. Approval status is not approved. Now let me do one more time here. Approval status, I'll change it to null. And this time I'll give it as a 50% or a 75%. Right, click on the save. I'm updating the 75%. And here the approval history is only 2 records are there. Now I'll click on submit for approval. Now what I'll do is I'll add some comments here. Please approve. Now click on it, submit. Now, as soon as I click on a submit, few more records are added here. So it is, this one is again, I submitted it because it was rejected. I updated the discount and then again, it went to the pending. Now this time, who needs to be approved? Approval is Radha Srinivas, who is manager. But what is the percentage here? More than 40%. More than 40%, we need a VP approval. But before going to the VP approval, the manager has to be approved. The manager has to be approved. If I click on approve, it is going to create another record. Let's go to the opportunity. In the approval history, click on a view all. Now, this time it is pending from VP. So still it says that it is a pending. Now, if the VP is approved, then the status is going to change. On the approval, click on a pending, 75% approved it. Now, how the flow went? It went from the manager to VP. In case if the manager is rejected, then it will not go to the VP. In case if manager is rejected, it will not go to the VP. Any questions on the approval process?
Ma'am, once go to the approval process steps. Like there is initial submission action or something. Not here.
Initial submission is not approved or pending, right? It is a pending.
Not this, ma'am. Like we have done all those steps, right? Yes. Okay, initial submission action. This field update, what is that?
Pending. So that
Like,
means
can you go to edit that? I mean,
pending, we are updating the status to pending.
or just a just a field.
Yes.
Okay. Fine.
That's about the use case for the approval process. Now let's see the differences between the process builder, flow builder, workflows, and approval process. Now we have seen the process builder, flow builder. Apart from one flow, we have seen the most of the flows and the workflow and the approvals. Now let's see the complexity and how can it supports like a time dependent action, how it is going to support user interaction, and how it is going to perform, like even how can I call the Apex code through the process builder, flow, workflow, approvals, and create a record, how it is going to happen in the process builder, flow, workflow, and approval. How can we delete it through the different automation tools? Everything we will see. Now the first one is a complexity. So the complexity is you will have a multiple if-then statement in the process builder. Whereas flow is complex scenario. You can have a if, else, if, again, else, if, again, if condition, like whatever the complexity is there, everything can be implemented through the flow builder. Workflow is a simple, straightforward if and then condition, that's it. Approval process, it is also simple, straightforward. If this is the one, then execute the statement. Time dependent, which is possible. We can, process builder can support the time-based actions. Flow also can support the time-based actions. Workflow also can support the time-based actions, but approval will not support the time-based actions. User has to click on the submit for approval button. Now, support user interaction. We cannot have the user interaction in the process builder. That means screens we cannot create in the process builder. Whereas flow, we can create the screens. Workflow, we cannot create the screens. Approval process, yes, that is only one screen, one button, that is a submit for approval. When you click on it, the screen gets open. You have to enter the comments and click on submit. And how can we call the Apex code through the process builder? Is it possible? Yes, we can call the Apex code from the process builder, and from the flow builder also we can call the Apex code. From workflow, we cannot call. From the approval, we cannot call the Apex code. And creating a record through the process builder, yes, it is possible. And flow builder also it is possible. Workflow, we cannot create a record, only the task will be created. And here also in the approval process, we can create a task. Delete a record, which is not possible through the process builder. Flow builder, yes, it is possible. Workflow, no, it is not possible. Approval process also, it is not possible. So these are the differences right? So we know that workflow process builder is going away, but it is better to know that combination of the process builder workflow is included in the flow builder. Right now we got another flow which is called as a flow orchestrate. So that flow orchestrate is also combination of workflow and approvals. Flow orchestrate is a combination of workflow and approval process. So that means right now flow builder includes the process builder, workflow, approval process. All of this will be combined into the flow builder. Now we can implement the approval process within the flow builder also. For that, we got a new one which is called as a flow orchestrate. Now those are the differences. Now flow best practices, whenever you are creating the flow, always test the flow or debug the flow before deploying to the production, and never perform a DML statements in the loop. Because whatever the Garner limits are there on the DML statement, those will be impacted. Document your flow. That means whenever you are creating a flow, add a description. Description is very important. Even you are creating a variable or an element, whatever you are doing it, add a description there. Do not do the hard coding of the IDs. If you are especially in the real time, do not do the hard coding of it. Instead of that, just create a custom label. And whenever you are creating a flow, always plan your fault. Like if you know the scenario, what is going to happen, you know that there is a possibility that it might fail the flow. In that case, add a fault path and just show the screen message. And we always utilize the subflow. Subflow is where you are creating a smaller flows, which is just a one screen, or you have a very small screens are available. So create a common flow and use that common flow wherever it is required. Instead of repeating the same step in every flow, better create a separate that flow and create it as a separate flow and call that sub flow into the parent flow. So that what will happen, it will be cleaner and reusable, scalable, and we can way to manage it. In case if you wanted to change anything into the smaller flows, we can change it easily. And do not forget to check that null or empty values. Always check whether it is null or empty. Always check. And in decision element, especially on the decision element, we have a decision element. In the decision element, always check the null or is empty or empty result. And check the record and the field security, whether that particular field security is accessible for the whoever is using the flow, for them it is accessible or not. Those are the best practices for the flow. And the next one is a flow orchestration. So the flow orchestration is the latest one which is included in the recent if I click on a new flow, we will see the latest one which is called as a record triggered flow. Basically, this record triggered orchestration flow is a new one which is added recently. So flow orchestration is nothing but a aggregation flow. Aggregation flow, it's kind of a aggregation workflow. And the flow orchestration is a combination of your screen flow, auto launch flow. That means within this flow, you can combine both the screen flows and auto launch flows. Right now, we have created a screen flow separately, auto launch flow separately. But using the flow orchestration, I can combine screen flows as well as the auto launch flows together, and we can implement it. Now, Salesforce allows the customer to use the power of the flow orchestration to create a basically multi-user, multi-stage, multi-step workflows is enhanced. That means whenever we are creating the approval process, we have a steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3 are there, right? same concept is implemented in the flow orchestration, right? So multi-step, multi-stage, multi-user. So you have a single stage, you can create a multiple steps. Like that, you can create a multiple stages. And using the workflow content, authors can streamline the approvals, control the content edits, automate the translation of publications. Right? So same thing which can be happen here. So the out of the box approval workflow allow content author to collaborate and move the content seamlessly from the creation of publication. And this flow orchestration is a runs on the trigger. That means we have a record triggered flow. Record triggered flow is runs on the a record is created, a record is updated, a record is created and updated, as well as a record is deleted. Record triggered flow done these 4, but flow orchestration is done only 3 of them. It does not do the delete. Flow orchestration only executed, a record is created, a record is updated, a record is created and updated. Only these 3 options we can fire the flow orchestration. Now basically flow orchestration has 2 types. So that means stage 1 and stage 2. Whenever you are creating the orchestration, you will see that it is divided into the stages. Like this, you have a multiple stages, not only the till stage 2, till stage N. You can create your orchestration till stage N. So many stages will be there. And for each stage, we have a multiple steps. So this stage 1 has a step 1, step 2, and you can implement multiple steps. You can go up to the step N. Similarly, stage 2 is also having the step 1, step 2, and you can create multiple steps. Again, each step is divided into background step and interactive step. That means interactive step is nothing but screen flow. Background step is nothing but auto launch flow. Every step has a background step, interactive step. Every step you can implement background step and interactive step. Interactive step is nothing but screen flow. Background step is nothing but auto launch flow. So this is the structure you will see. This is the structure. Whenever you are creating the flow orchestration, this is how the structure will be. Now the practical part, we will do it next session. But right now, I'll just give you the overview how it is look like. Now, if I'm creating the record trigger orchestration, now what is happening here? It is showing as a similar like a record trigger flow, but this is a record trigger orchestration. Now, whenever you click on it, it will ask you the object as well as the configure the trigger. So it can be triggered only the record is created, record is updated, record are created or updated. Now you can add a condition. You can add a condition to here. So this condition, you can add anything here. For example, we are in the account. So active equal to what are, yes, this is the field I wanted to add. Like this, I can add it and observe here, there is no save button. There is no save button. This save button is on the main flow. Okay, so this save does not have any save. Basically, it is auto saved. So if you cross and if you come here and if you open, it will show. So it is automatically saved the data. Now, whenever you click on a place button, it is giving me the stage. So I'm talking about the stages. Orchestration has a stages. You can have a multiple stages here. So for example, I'm creating the stage 1 here. I'm creating the stage 1. So in the stage 1, it is giving me the 2 options. Do you want to fire The condition is when all the steps have been marked complete, the stage is marked complete. That means within this stage 1, you can create a multiple steps. Using this stage 1, we can create a multiple steps, right? So what is the one option is, whenever all the steps are completed, then I say that stage is marked as a completed, or else when the specified evaluation flow returns true, that means if you are filling here the evaluation flow, if something flow you are evaluating here, if that is true, then only I'm going to mark it as a complete. For now, I'm going with all the steps have been marked to complete. Now this is done. There is no save button. Click on a add step. When I click on a add step, there are two type of steps. One is a background step and second one is a interactive step. Interactive step is nothing but screen flow. Interactive step is nothing but screen flow. So you can give any here. So let's assume that step 1. I'm creating a step 1. And the condition, do you want this when the stage starts, do you want to start this step? That means whenever this record trigger orchestration is hitting it, at the same time, do you want it to run this interactive step, or else when another step is marked to complete, then you wanted to start it. Now, whenever the flow is started, I wanted to start the step 1. So let's go with the first one. Now here it is asking me to enter the flow. That means I cannot create a screen here. In flow orchestration, we cannot create a screen flow. We cannot create a auto launch flow. We cannot do that. But what I can do is I can refer here. I can refer the screen flows that I have created. For example, I have created a create new HM record. This is the screen flow. It does not show the auto launch flow for the interactive steps. So as soon as I select here screen flow, if there are any input values, it will ask you to enter the input values here. In case if there is no value, then that is totally fine. Record ID. In case if you want to select the record ID, so specify any record ID here. Now assign the user, specific user. So ideally, we will assign it to the whoever the logged in user is there, we will assign it. Now that is the first step. Now second, I'm adding the background step. So for the background step, this is the step 2. This is the step 2. Here, I do not want the step 2 as soon as the stage is started. I wanted to start this whenever the step 1 is completed. Whenever the step 1 is completed, I wanted to start. That means I can decide these 2 steps when it should be running it. In sequence, that means once the step 1 is completed, then only go for a step 2. If I wanted to execute that in sequence, then choose here when another step is marked as a completed, then start this step. So who is another one? We have a step 1. In case you do not want a sequence, I wanted to go with the parallel. These 2 should be executed in the parallel. So in that case, what you can do is here the condition should be when the stage is start the step. When the stage is started, start the step. That means these 2 steps are starting parallelly. It goes parallelly. Now the second one is auto launch flow. So it is going to show me only the auto launch flow. And here it is asking the input field. I don't know the input field. So this is the file. Now like this, I can create a multiple stages. Now I have another stage here. Stage 2. Stage 2. Again, I can create. Like this, you can keep on creating the stages, and you can build your whatever the screen flow, auto launch flow, whatever the approval process, right? So whatever the approval process are there, everything you can implement using the flow orchestration. So this is a sample one. I'm not saving this just to make you understand what are the fields are available in the flow orchestration. So we'll take a use case next time and we will do one of the flow orchestration. Now, so far we have seen the auto launch flow, Subflow, I just gave the hint how to create a subflow, which is a straightforward. And approval process, we have seen the how to create a approval process. Process builder versus flow builder versus flow versus approval. What is the differences? And flow best practices, and then just an introduction about the flow orchestration. That's all we have seen. So we have a trial head where it says the flow orchestration. So you can do this trial head if you are able to understand, otherwise wait for the next session. Orchestrate is a complex process, I can say, which is a complex, very complex process. Seems very simple, but it is a complex process, very complex.
But now for 3 to 5 years experience, what you're saying, they will ask for this orchestration. Is it expected from them?